starving on today's life. Today, we are looking at individual. I have Joyce Iyakwari on the show, and I have Sele Elisha Dashon.
Thank you. Morning.
So if we're talking about malnourishment, is it just food?
About the quantity of food, but forgetting that the quality of the food too matters if they absolutely.
Okay.
It depends on the context which is used, supposed to some certain information, or it can be used where you're talking.
As a topic, when we look at malnourishment, you are starved of. It tells from your behavior, it tells from your act.
About information.
Okay. Nourished emotionally, what would be the result? So two basic points. What can the eating of inappropriate
Night of a particular nutrient, whether it's information or emotion, feel to the way it's supposed to be, it tells. You become aggressive. And that's why you are being aggressive. You are being abusive. The Bible even stated that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. So when you don't, and information came that this place is evil or there is a danger because you are not aware of this thing.
That's true. What are the most common foods that are extremely nourishing? Okay.
Well, we have carbohydrate, vitamins, and when you go deeper,
Continuous food what does it do? Sorry.
some certain nutrients in your body, which sometimes you're advised to give them eggs so that it will help maybe with some help with one thing or the other. Certain vitamins. I'm not a doctor, so what I've learned
like several years they tell you.
Lack of all these nutrients, like lack of all these vitamins that certain vitamins that are supposed to sustain you, or you lack vitamin D, vitamin A, to help boost those certain vitamins in the body.
Okay, so if we talk about, I hear them every day say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, about things that can help for your eyes and all of it.
But if you're looking at food supplement, I mean, there are things. Some people now go like you don't feed on the right meal. You go
faster than
they show.
But it's fine. It's
carry feed, whether it's the vitamins in your eye that is needed for your eye.
Malnourishment, psychological trauma from it, and are you familiar with gote?
Vegetable, lots of vegetables in it, and we have the
helps. I know it helps with it helps people with
health and
because it doesn't have sugar.
And then you have protein. They put some food there, some meat. Extremely nutritious. Very, very.
Bread, cabbage. There's vegetable in it. Cabbage.
Okay, so why do people crave
after what is nice from my mouth?
I totally disagree with that. I think if the information on a shawarma date, people crave for it. Laziness to us now. People are making here that every weekend they are looking for money to buy shawarma.
Your social media handler, what is shawarma?
She will socialize me so that they will know just because a particular kind of food is trending is good, but it's not as good as a food like gote. But at the point I took a lot of it, it started telling on my body types of food. So we have a lot of like eat them. Like you rightly said, we are particular about taste more than
it's maybe the availability of certain nutrients to us, because you may they are very affordable.
True, because with how much is how much do you
like the large one should be 2,100.
2,001. Small.
Okay, so like that's this whole family meal a day. So why do you do? Someone introduced you to it, and you don't leave. Okay,
10 or less. It depends on where you are buying that.
Yeah, that place that you regularly. I shawarma. Their account will not. It will not move. There's a 250. Our life will still be
the same.
And then there are people that other poor people. No, most of the people that it's benefits
and the class
they buy it.
Avoid the company because
that is not what we are talking about on the show. He buys it once, it becomes religious. You go every day, all of that. So it's not. It shouldn't be about shawarma. It should be about something.
I wanted to add to that. There are times
have lunch. but you go to
Possibly
maybe
shawarma
a meeting,
spot.
a short meet. Like there are some people that are picky with their food. Like for me, not like I love shawarma to the extent that I can spend every day go to that particular place, because we don't want to go to some certain places, or we just buy of fruits, vegetables and supplements. Put vegetable when I'm cooking beans, I try to put some vegetable in it. Or it doesn't necessarily mean that okay, this because I love this certain photo of all these things, and you know, sometimes you just avoid them, then compost. Know what is good for them. Like there are people that are allergic to.
Okay, so what else can you add to malnourishment when it comes to
of nutrients.
Exercise,
So, exercise,
water,
because
and what's made up of how many percent of water?
You need it
Even the
for your
fruits and the
blood
vegetable
and
that
all
we
that.
eat. Do you know water is very helpful in flushing out some excesses?
Water is important.
continue?
Water is because it's important. You need it to protect for heat, especially in a place like here where the
Through the day, so it's helpful too.
Kuza, sell water. And somebody here,
get you water.
when I come to tell you I should come with it, sir, oh, Sele, you don't drink, continue drinking water.
Water.
Is that not what you're supposed to do?
Yes.
Talk and walk away.
But
I
sir,
do-
we have dispensers
I'm talking
everywhere
to
in the
Sele.
office,
I'm
and we
talking-
buy.
We have to consider, I take a lot of water. I do. To see me more with that drink than they see me with water. So they have finished. So I drink a lot of water. It's just
Water actually helps.
no, slap it, give me. No font. Yeah. So it's hard.
No.
Okay, we have looked at inappropriate let's look at the psychological conditions. Now we have looked at to have to brag about, you know, forgetting the people tend to ignore. I know a lot of rich people, no matter what you cook, they so now we are looking at we're going to be looking at, we have looked at the physical, which is the food. We're going to look at psychologically and not to get malnourished.
Well, I feel. Now, for someone who possibly grew up in a home, it has a role it plays in our lives, and so we're to be stable. Just in the papers this morning, we read about a woman that process of possibly maybe she was ironing her wrapper or whatever. She been all cheerful and happy, but lots of people are psychologically like emotionally. What can I do? Are there books I need to express yourself? Bring out that anger, that rage, whatever, like a tiger looking for who to devour. So I think it's important.
Actually, the show what you feel about malnourishment in the areas of physical health, this instance to an understandable factor. It's on the table and you are on the chair. You are brilliant. That's wonderful. So you have to eat the food. If you refuse to eat that food, what happens to you?
You'll be hungry.
The food is still...
You die.
Okay.
If you decide not to eat for a long time.
So you'll be malnourished. Why I asked you this question?
No.
Because we are going into the psychological.
That's
As if you listen to someone or a family member, if you sit down,
You'll be drained. It will affect you emotionally because it will see you growing.
okay. So in other words, what
To listen to.
to listen to and what to do logically, food may not be meant from relationships. Like, not when we say relationships, not just you, people watching the show would hear and they'll start acting. They'll start thinking about it regularly. How can somebody avoid things that are poisonous? We don't care. We just want to be in the circle. When you are going this way and you don't even pay attention to your presence, it will drain you. So
Humans they have this mentality that they want to be accepted, should be part of them. They should be welcomed in it, not even minding what the topic of discussion is. Minds to how we want to feed it. It's more like grooming. When you are grooming that flower, you have to water it. You know you have to water it. Sometimes you have to get fertilizer out the dry leaves so that they
from the same plant
that will cause cancer. And when you eat it, you know you have the effect. It's just about cells that will reproduce news. I've learned about all. Do you know you have the tendency to overthink on it? There are times that your mind can be curious, a very ambiguous word, and you have interest in it, and yourself with negativity, you become that negative. When they are a symbol of say no evil, see no evil, and life. Everything is more like, okay, you know, when you hear something, it doesn't just enter your ear, but how can you maintain your psychological state? How can you, what you want to believe in? This is the positivity. What am I putting in my mind? You know, and the issue, like where was it that we mentioned serial killer or someone is becoming, how did it start? They were you were exposed to the information. Maybe you saw body, you know, molded. Let me see more. Then you start googling it. All these vices that we always talk about, and that is how your mind. Before you know, you start believing these are how the things. These are how type of movies you watch, the type of documentaries you watch, the type of information, and you start keeping the record. Before you know, you are killing everybody. Before you know, it's a mental thing. So many examples that we can come up with, but we're talking of avoiding those settings, to trim it, or what is it called? Yes, trim, cut out the excesses from it.
To do is to be disciplined. It's important. You can't take any decision if you're not disciplined, say, or what people do. But when you're disciplined about certain things, so vocal languages, I have to be disciplined because we don't self to drink water. Nothing will be done about it. So I need to just find yourself, okay, singing certain music you don't want to sing, or you just sing
when people talk about people without you experiencing that person for yourself.
The person in absentia. But you see, if we are talking about you talked about pornography lead you in the direction of acting for the purpose pornography and put it online. For you to learn and see, take it drug dealing, you would want to see what is the difference in Nigeria. What is the difference between living in jail and being free? They are not afraid, because okay, just yesterday I was talking to this person, we have employed this person. He said we even employed a Christian. He was just how what he said she refused to take the COVID at the end with something she's bringing. He's believing that not she didn't, she refused. So he also said vicinity. If you are not supposed to, if you are supposed to be looking for around Google, think about it. Your knowledge of God's word is, so porn is growing, God's word might just stay there. Why? Because there is nothing to bring you back to default set now. The only thing they want is these drugs to eat. Religiously, that is because every other people staying away from toxic people. You don't know that just about it. Somebody is coming into your life. She can be a girl, but they don't talk to you about any other thing but fashion. And fashion is not wrong. But when they talk to you, they tell you how that of acquiring these clothes. Somebody tells you, I have a car. You don't have with having a car. Nothing. But there's something entirely wrong with the process allowed into your mind.
Yeah, exactly. You know, why you were giving that, so I said, okay, I needed to block you from social media. So like
regularly for the sake of my family.
Yes, I needed to take a drive.
We can't have
that connection anymore, because I don't think I need to. So I think we need to really take like some moves.
Yes. There are people, do you know that there are people, I hardly go on status except people have taken, you know, this Facebook status? You've been there?
The story.
Yeah, the story. There is, I don't have anything wrong with what you're doing, but I am fighting signals that, like, I am available. What else is a lady doing? Those things that you believe. People post what they believe. True.
Logical. There are times that they go hand in hand. There are some people that I don't tell them it is, I'm telling them, even without them saying anything, even without them acting anyway, and not going deep into spirituality and all. But there are people that have caught a duty for me to observe and understand people. Certain people when around herself or himself, that any good thing you like, this your good news is even nothing at all, or this your good news, and they flush out these excesses, this negativity from your heart. After unlearning, you have to relearn some things. You have to start feeding your mind into, just like you said, you've cut off people from go there to, you know, even it's difficult. I know a lot of, you know, even if I'm not there to pick a call, you can just drop one thing or the other. Then think of these excesses. Don't forget that you'll be vacant. Don't forget that. It's more like, okay, in that process of flushing out excesses, you are vacant, you are dehydrated. What do you have for? You are now planting the flower, you put it in the pot. You don't, you keep putting fertilizer, you put it. Is it a house plant? Or
it's not about taking everything in, but it's taking the right thing that is needed at that part. Because we're looking at being psychological. When you have toxic people around you, definitely.
But they will tell you when you are trying to warn them about the effect of smoking and all.
Why wouldn't you just avoid it if you have to do something else to like counter conditions? Now we're looking at people who live with wrong information. What do you listen to for work?
You do that when you attach, for example, you are new in a place, you do not wait for a category, you know, same level with you, same everything. You still charge, you know, to give orientation to new staff, even though they are not paid, you know, buying people to themselves, or where you are here, this is how you do this work, or if not, you know, this long process, because you already have that idea of that company. Because I just want to learn, even if you are not paying me, before long you are asking, okay, you people are period. There are all these things that is you and your employer.
You see, that's why we're talking about, not because of the money and all of that. You see, the information that you have in your, how is it making you act? How is it making you relate? This issue of,
Yes.
if your parents are still working, they will tell you that's the problem. And all of that is the information that they receive. It is, okay, work. There can never be. Why? Because of organizational policy. The same EQUA. The policies of EQUA television, they are different from that of, are all under EQUA. We are all under the constitution of EQUA. We are all under EQUA. I'm using EQUA because we are very familiar with it. Within the same EQUA, thing that works in maybe accounts, it would have piled up, then we'll start dealing with it. It works for us.
Yes. Their policy.
Their policies. What made the policy? Before they leave their house, no ambulance. So we should come to work at 11. The needs of the company. This is that operate 24 hours. It's because of the need 24 hours. If the need does not arise from producing what they will earn, not how you were treated in your former place of work, or not even your accountants. Sometimes they will tell them that if you resume 10, the General Church Council is coming, let's finish this report, let's do all of this and all that. So you have to work real hard. You are looking for the right information.
Stay away from such bad energy.
Okay, what if they say you are a bad person?
Because sometimes it's easier to pull people who have bad energy. It's easier for them. So the better way.
There's no even benefit. Serious single benefit. There's no.
This is what I heard about you. You work on it. So the better thing, or the helping you, you need to be disciplined and be deliberate and cut such people away from your life.
Love them. Because those kind of people can stand on their own. Why can't you see which one to pick? And don't forget, when you pick a person to be close to you, whatsoever, because advice can come, you know, I think you should do this, I think you should do that. Psychologically, how do you feed yourself? Physically, what is important for you? How can I be impactful to this person? How can the person be impactful? Because always it's not a one. I think you'll be a positive person, depending on what you've observed at the end of the day and what you have.
Thank you, sir, for doing this on Today's Life with me today.
And I think we have a
malnutrition is the most leading cause of death, especially in children. And that's all the comments we have. We have just 2 comments on the show today. These are the things that we considered on Today's Life. You know, deficiencies consider as a person. Malnourishment is greatly, as a result, also malnourish your productivity and loss of concentration. This is eating well. Eat within your means, you know. Look rules that are not important. cut down on circles that are not important. Thank you very much for watching today's live on Equa Television. Thank you for the comments. Thank you so much for the comments. It's been today's live on Equa Television Africa on behalf of Porters.